What if I told you that everything we knew about medicine, aging and rejuvenation has been turned upside down by new findings that we are more electrical than biochemical or anatomical? I was raised as a classical dermatologist and a dermatologic surgeon, where we believed that molecules can change, that lasers can heat and act, and that surgery can move the tissues from one place to another. But we're starting to understand now that the cells of the skin are not isolated cells. With their ion channels, they communicate with each other, and they have like a bioelectrical software that runs through the whole body and that tells them what their task is as a skin. All our body, or 40 trillion cells, bacteria included, are run by software. We can call it biosoftware. It's like an electrical signaling that gives a task to every part of the body and communicates with each part of the body. Which means that diseases come when this coordination fails. Places where the cells don't behave anymore as a total unit, as a team. And when they leave the team and start doing things on their own, they become different, and we get cancers, we get brown spots, we get aging, and even the fascia, which underneath the skin, which gives the skin this stability, this tension, this magnificent look, because the skin on itself is too thin to do anything. We need the fascia to hold it and to give it stability. But this fascia is also electric. It runs electricity and it produces electricity also. And it goes from the toes till the head, and it integrates in the electrical software of our skin. So before we try to do something on the skin on the outside, like using active ingredients or like heating the skin up with lasers, we must think about this integrity. The same goes for fibroblasts. Fibroblasts, when they are young, they produce young collagen, young hyaluronic acid, everything runs fine. When we start stimulating old fibroblasts, they will not produce young collagen. They will produce repair collagen, inflamed collagen. And this is not the same thing as our young and fresh and new collagen. If we look at collagen on the fire, like a steak on the barbecue, it shrinks. This shrinkage is not becoming younger or becoming tighter. When an old grandpa has a burn and the skin looks smooth, it's not the same young skin as his grandchild, who has a smooth skin naturally. We cannot compare a laser inflamed skin and its repair and a young, naturally beautiful and healthy skin. Since when is a repair from an injury better than the young skin that has never been injured? So we must think a bit differently. How do we get the skin to become young and healthy again? And that is electrical. How do we get the fibroblasts to produce young and healthy collagen? Is by getting them young and healthy again. More blood flow, more oxygen, more lymphatic drainage, and more nervous connections. And that's how the fibroblasts will become young and produce young collagen. And young fibroblasts don't need an external stimulation. Our children, they don't need a daily stimulation or weekly stimulation with microneedling, with RF microneedling, with lasers, whatsoever, to stay young and produce young collagen each day. They do it naturally because they are young. And so rejuvenation is mainly an electrical thing, rearranging it. Now, very famous scientists, and I'm talking about Harvard, Tufts, Stanford, etc., have already discovered this electrical phenomenon that drives health and cells. Even holding water in the cells, and we talk a lot about hydration when we talk about skincare. Even holding water is an electrical phenomenon. We'll dive into our first scientist, which is making big waves now in the world of science, of bioelectricity and rejuvenation. And I'm talking of no one less as Professor Michael Levin, who will show you that the integrity of the cells is more an electrical phenomenon. Let's have a look at one of his conferences.
What if the most important intelligence isn't in your brain at all, but is instead encoded in the electrical conversations happening between trillions of cells? At Tufts University, Dr. Michael Levin tells us about the future of medicine by revolutionizing our understanding of biology. How so? He decodes these bioelectric signals, the recently discovered language that tells cells what shape to build, how to repair damage, and even when to become cancerous.
First, to the ability of cells and other biological components to communicate in electrical networks. We have hopes and dreams and memories and preferences that our individual neurons don't have. What underlies all of that is the electrical network that enables the collective to process information that no individual part can process. Cells have little tiny proteins on their surfaces which can open and close to let in charges. So things like potassium and chloride, these charges go in and out and they become unbalanced. There ends up being a voltage gradient, like a little battery, a difference across the membrane. And that voltage difference can be felt by neighboring cells. It's really a magical thing where the content of the thoughts of the system manipulate the system itself. You end up with this mind-body interface. How can information have a physical effect in the world? This is it right here. As soon as you've made cells connected by, for example, voltage-gated ion channels, you now see that the information patterns that they process now affect the system, the structure of the system, and the way that it will process information in the future.
Electricity and electrical currents are dominating the existence of our body and beyond it even. If we want an organ to function, if we want cells to function, if we want them to understand each other and work together, we need also to understand this electrical phenomenon that drives it all, that brings the cells together, that gives them purpose and a direction through a common software, how would I say, program, that drives even the DNA, because the DNA doesn't determine totally who we are. The DNA is coordinated by an electrical software. That's how far it goes. We need to understand also that all our organs are electrical, that we have three major organs, as we talked already, the three central organs, which is the heart, the brain, and the intestines. And they run through electrical cables and biofeedback loops, all the regeneration and rejuvenation of our body. So if that doesn't function well, it makes no sense to heat the skin with a laser and expect this contraction to be similar to a young skin of a young person. It's not. It makes no sense to start injecting exosomes, stem cells, all kinds of vitamins and PRP in a system that already knows how to bring these molecules and these elements into the skin and keep us healthy, because young people have that by their own, through their system. So rejuvenation is understanding this electrical capacity of the skin to do everything that we try to do from the outside, but much better from the inside. We'll go and dive into a video that shows us several of these electrical elements of the body.
If you want your body to be able to heal itself better than any doctor can, you need to know that your body is an electrical system living inside an electrical field. Every muscle fiber, every nerve impulse, every heartbeat runs on voltage. Ions and charged particles are those messengers. Now, in an alkaline environment, positive ions move freely, firing signals cleanly, contracting muscles with precision. But in an acidic environment, conductivity collapses, signals slow, cells break down, and disease is an electrical collapse. Negative charge will breed decay, and a positive charge will fuel regeneration. So just know that the field around you is static, frequency, and resonance all at once. Your body is constantly exchanging current with it. Your fascia, nerves, and muscles act like a living electrical grid, drawing energy from the field when conditions are right. So when alkalinity is high, electrons flow faster, mitochondria produce more ATP, and cell repair accelerates. But when acidity rises, proton buildup disrupts charge balance, voltage drops, muscles weaken, weaken and pathogens thrive. This is why environments, thoughts, and nutrition all matter. High alkaline minerals boost ion flow. Sunlight recharges cells through photonic resonance, and coherent emotion aligns the field for maximum conductivity. So raise your charge and you will raise your life force.
For all those who think that hydration is a matter of water, you have to think differently now. It's not a matter of bringing water to the body or to the skin. It's a matter of how to hold the existing water in the body and in the skin. This sheds a totally different light on hydration. Hydration is the electrical capacity of holding the water in the skin, the electrical capacity of the cells to hold the water in the body. That's why electrolytes are so important. When you drink water, most holistic doctors will tell you, add a little bit electrolytes to that, add a little bit of sea salt to that. Why? Because our body holds the water through electricity and electrolytes. And this is a major thing. It makes no sense to use hydration, moisturizers, and all these kind of things to keep water inside if you don't have the tools, the electrical tools, to keep the water inside. We'll dive into a short video of a colleague that explains that very well.
I used to drink over a gallon of water a day, believing the myth that more water equals more hydration. You've heard it too. Drink half your body weight in ounces or drink 8 glasses of water a day. They make it sound scientific, but obviously this is very incomplete. And what no one told me was that hydration doesn't come from volume, it comes from voltage. Your cells don't absorb water like a sponge. They structure it through charge separation, powered by the electrical potential across your cell membranes and mitochondria. And here's the kicker. Those membranes, they're made of phospholipids arranged in a bilayer that isn't just structural, it's semiconductive. The quality of those lipids, the fatty acids you feed your cells, determines how well your membranes can hold charge, can structure water, and can transmit energy. And without the right lipid architecture, water doesn't organize. It sits inert, unable to participate in energy transfer, redox reactions, and cell signaling. I was drowning my system with water while staying functionally dehydrated. And once I stopped obsessing over intake and started focusing on sunlight, grounding, mitochondrial repair, and restoring membrane integrity with functional lipids, my body started holding onto water differently. My skin changed, my energy came back, my cells stopped leaking life. Hydration is an electrical event, not a mechanical one, and no amount of water will fix a system that's missing voltage and lipid intelligence.
By now we understood that cells run on electricity. Mitochondria, the basis of our energy, they run on electricity. That the cells communicate electrically. That they follow a program that is electric and drives them to become one unit, one organ, whether it's skin or hair follicle or liver or spleen or whatever it is. They run on a program to understand who they are and what they are doing in this body. We understand also that regeneration comes from central organs that are electric, connected through loops, bioloops as we call them, with peripheral organs. And the central organs, which are very powerful electrical centrals like the heart, the brain and intestines, run through the blood vessels, the nervous system and the lymphatic system to keep everything clean, nice and functional. We understand also that hydration, keeping water inside the body, is an electrical phenomenon. So what we have been doing with our team here is essentially understanding all these electrical phenomena of the body and designing tools to enhance the electrical flow in the body, to regenerate the tissues, to create homeostasis so that everything will be back to its original state, and to generate health and energy so that we can rejuvenate from within in a totally natural way, and on the long run, because we need a little bit of patience for that, on the long run, far better than anything we will do from the outside that doesn't take into account how the body functions and doesn't give you a rejuvenating effect on the long run. Because rejuvenation is a marathon. It's not a sprint of 100 meters. When you see pictures on internet before and after, they've been taken either immediately after or a week after or even 2 or 3 months after. Rejuvenation is a 40-year job. where 40 years later, people must look great and nice and fresh and young. We don't have these pictures of before and after with an interval of 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And this is what we are aiming for, real rejuvenation on the long term. Be patient and rejuvenate and become really like a much younger self of yourself.